Hi there. Welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question today from Lori, and it's a little long, but not too long. So I'll read Lori's question. So she says, my son suffered a birth injury and has lifelong disabilities. When he was a baby, I just felt sad, hopeless, and a little guilty, like I could have done something different to avoid what happened to him. I was unhappy at home with him. I wasn't happy at my part-time job. Where and how can I find happiness? Then I heard someone say, do work that you love, and thought that could be my answer. I then began to think of things I could do as a career that would bring the happiness and fulfillment I was looking for. But I love to learn, so nearly everything I became interested in was soon followed by the thought, I could do this for a living. I was fortunate to get a part-time job for a while as a personal trainer, which is what I believe I would enjoy doing full-time, but the hours are crappy and the pay is poor. Two things I need in my family life are stability and financial stability and a routine schedule. So after a few years as a personal trainer, I quit training for about 10 years. This past year, some old clients reached out to me to work with them again, and I felt the universe was saying, now, get into that entrepreneurial spirit. I did that in some ways, but I feel to really make something happen, I need to do more work that isn't energizing, like setting up a website and marketing, or that I have to have the time to invest in it. I've been reading and watching various self-help gurus telling me, fail to plan and plan to fail. And we need to make plans and goals for our dreams to happen, whatever dreams are. So my question is, if life happens to us, do we really need to go after our dreams? Even if I knew, she says in parentheses, even if I knew what they are, which I don't, which is such a good point, right? Like, maybe we have to go after our dreams according to someone, maybe we don't, but what are your dreams? And as you're saying, Lori, you don't even know what those are exactly. Do we have to do this to make our lives happier and full of purpose? That purpose is what I'm truly looking for. I feel like I live an unhappy existence and I'm tired of it. So thank you so much for sending this, Lori. I love this question, and I know it really resonates with a lot of people. And it's so innocent. The way that you described it, it's so relatable because we've all been down this path. I think everyone has. We've all been told that what we're looking for is somewhere else. It's in the right job. It's in the right relationships. It's in the right family situation. It's in the right financial security, whatever it might be. What you want is somewhere else, is what we're told. And you need to figure out what that is and where that is and go find it and make it happen. And then as you're saying along these lines of, hey, well, once you kind of discover that fulfillment that you're looking for, where you're going to find it, well, then you need a plan because you don't just trip over it. Like you need to figure this out. And it's so backward, Lori. It's so wrong. So, and that's good news. I want you to really see that it makes absolute perfect sense that you feel the way you do, that these things, whether it's personal training or any interest or caring for your son or anything that you truly deeply even care about, those do not somehow magically give us a life of happiness and fulfillment. How could they? Happiness and fulfillment, both really, are feelings. They're temporary states. We feel them sometimes, we don't feel them sometimes. And they can't possibly come from something out in the world that we're doing. And I know that probably you've heard this before. Many people listening know this very, very well, but it still can sound kind of cliche. Like, yeah, I know, but then where are they? Like, I'm going to keep trying in the job or the hobby or the, whatever it is. I'm going to keep trying to find it out there because even though you tell me it can't come from there, and that kind of makes some sense, I haven't found it there yet, I must just be doing it wrong, or I don't know where else to look. So what else would I do, right? Which is kind of the predicament that most of us find ourselves in. But I want you to see that I kind of just hate to say this stuff sometimes because I just feel like just my own insecurity. It just feels so cliche. But really see if you can hear this. Doing stuff is just doing stuff. Doing work that you love, that you enjoy, awesome, amazing. Please try to, if you need to work and you want to work, do work that you love and enjoy. Don't just do work that you hate, right? It's gonna be fun. You're gonna love it and enjoy it a lot more of the time. It has nothing in the world to do with deeper, lasting happiness or fulfillment. Nothing. Nothing. It just doesn't. And you know this, I think, or you can be open to this because you've tried it. You've tried to squeeze orange juice out of that apple, and it just is not happening. And it hasn't happened for anyone. People who are deeply happy and fulfilled may or may not have work that they love. It doesn't really matter. It's not coming from there. There's an overlooking that tends to happen. The happiness, it's not even happiness, because again, like I said, happiness and fulfillment are fleeting feelings that are going to come and go for every human being on earth all the time. We're not going to feel them all the time, and sometimes we are, no matter what's happening in life, really. Even with the son with disabilities, even in work that you love, even in work that you hate, happiness and fulfillment will come and go. But we've been told that's what we're looking for, and again, told to go find it in a career or wherever. But what I really want you to consider, Lori, is this idea of overlooking. It's so close. What we want is what we are. It's what we're seeing from. It's here all the time. It's like the light that illuminates everything. It just is what already is. And then when we go out and try to find it, by definition, we're kind of fostering this illusion that we're far away from it and we don't have it right now, that it's out in something else. It's not out in anything. It's here. It's like in your breath. It's in your sounds. It's in what you see. It's in the act of seeing. It's in the act of hearing. And even those aren't acts. They're just like what's here and immediate all the time. And there's a lot of thinking that happens, and a lot of planning sometimes that happens, and a lot of chasing goals and dreams, which is amazing, awesome. We just want to do that for the fun of it, though, not because you think you're going to get something from it, because that's what leads to exactly this frustration and hopelessness and despair and all the things you happy. I feel like I live in all the things that you talk about, where you say, I feel like I live an unhappy existence and I'm tired of it. I hear you, and a huge step in the kind of right direction is to stop looking for happiness out there. And now that doesn't mean just go do anything for work, and it doesn't mean, ignore the physical world around you and what you're doing in life. Don't. But don't expect happiness from that. It's closer. It's deeper. Get curious, get quiet, shut out everything for a few minutes and see what you discover in here. Now, initially, you might discover just a bunch of noise. You might discover a bunch of discomfort. That is pretty typical. That happens. But what's behind that? And then what's behind that? And then what's behind that? Like, everything that we want is here already. We're just overlooking it because we're too busy thinking about what we need to do to create it. It's the most ironic thing in the world. It's like, oh, my chapstick is right here and my head is just totally consumed with, where am I going to find that damn chapstick? Where did I leave it? Where is it? What did I do with it? What are the hoops I have to jump through to bring it to me? And it's literally here. And I know that might sound kind of abstract, and not all that helpful in the moment, but just hold that very loosely and just be really curious, Lori. What if that's true? If that's true, then what? Then you go do whatever work you enjoy doing, but you don't expect anything from it, and you look in a different direction. You reverse the order. Rather than out here is where I'm going to find everything, reverse the order and see what you discover. And again, I apologize for the cliche, but it's the truth. There's a reason that people share these cliches all the time, because there really is something deeply true in that. And I think you've looked long enough out in the world and have come up empty to keep going down that path. So just flip it around, do a little U-turn. Thank you for sending your question, Lori. Thanks everyone for listening, and I'll see you next week.